Hello, my name is Mr. Fool. And I want to talk about this mess that is New World Closed Beta. I have got to preface that this video is not for people that are currently enjoying New World Closed Beta. Go enjoy the game. I simply feel the need to get my frustration out. I am one of those players who is waiting for a new MMO. After the failure that calls itself Crowfall. I was hopeful and I still am for the release. I did enjoy the preview. And I did enjoy the first couple days of this closed beta. But after having enough of crafting and gathering around level 30, I tried pretty much all the content that was available, or I could find. But it all feels hollow. Let's start with the way gamers are currently leveling. Town board quest, crafting, gathering, repeat. After the nerf, they find ways around it. Like the respawn mechanic, or buying houses in different towns. So why do people, instead of doing PvP or PvE, go find ways around the nerf? Because it is simply not balanced. I did try, I would say, all the PvE that there is really. I was at first hoping it would be like in the preview. But it was not. Even trying to run expeditions, that is what New World is calling its dungeons, is a chore. You need to get 10 corrupted silver, that you get from closing the big red corrupted portals. You get like 1 to 4 per portal, and the silver is bound on pickup, so you cannot buy them either. So you can't just go and say you do 1 corrupted portal as 5 people, and there we can run the expedition. No, you need to run 1 to 3 kilometers, from one big red portal to the other. And everyone who plays New World knows, there is no quick way to travel. You can teleport from town to town, and respawn at your camp, or the inn. But if you want to travel between the towns, there is simply no option. That is why it is called Walking Simulator, and later go to the Afterlife Simulator, because it's faster to unalive yourself and then respawn. So you need to run and run, till you reach the 10 corrupted silver, which will take you around 4 red portals on average, so around 8 kilometers walk. And then finally, you can run the expedition, the level 25 one. The corrupted silver for level 35 expedition is even rarer, so good luck, and good sanity. Meanwhile, here comes the punchline. These big red portals, the normal monsters there do not give any exp, no weapon exp, no normal exp, no region exp. Only the bosses give a small amount. And after you vanquish the portal, you get a small to decent amount, for walking the distance that should be the least. And right, the small red portals, are even less worth it. They do not even give this corrupted silver, it will only give you obsolete armor pieces, and little to no experience, after vanquishing those, and once again only the boss monster gives experience, a small amount, but let's not discard it. So clearly, red portals and expeditions are not worth our time, or at least that's the way they are currently designed. Then I tried to do what I did in the preview, find a spot where elite monsters of my level gather, and kill them, which to my positive surprise, was in a different place than back then. And lo and behold, it still kind of works, not like back in the preview, not as good as the town board quests, but viable. You get around 70 to 100 XP per monster in a group, and double that if you are solo. And an elite named boss monster, that will take you in a group of 4 around 2 minutes, will not drop anything worthwhile, and you get a total of 200 XP. I did try one of those by myself, which was quite a challenge, and still 200 XP. So skip bosses. Clearly New World is not designed in a way that gives you any incentive for killing a boss. The issue is that those numbers are only in the case you have PvP on. If it is not even worth comparing to the town board quests. That being said, people like me, that are tired of the town board quests, are looking for the stables of a MMO, the PvE and PvP. The PvE that I just mentioned, there is maybe, in best case scenario, enough monsters for one group, because the respawn time is not short, and the quantity is not that high. So if you want to have that spot, you will be forced to compete, and oh, I like that. I am a PvP player, so here, watch some PvP clips, and see what happens. My server has the interesting situation, where yellow has a big community type guild. The purple, well, they have enough people that do PvP, so they could compete with the yellow ones, but well, they are not. Same goes for yellow, both do PvP in big groups, but do not fight each other. And I do not understand why. From what I have seen, and experienced, they avoid fair fights, at least that is what I would call it. Of course not all of the players of those factions, just the main guilds of each faction, green included. I am part of green, just not part of the big guild of my faction. So single players and small groups and guilds do sometimes have PvP on, but rare and few in between, because, oh what a surprise, they are doing town board quests, the path of the least resistance. Now the 2 clips, where I got overrun by yellows, and then overrun by the purples. That happened in the span of like 20 minutes. The joke is, the purples run mayhem in yellow territory, and the yellows let them. The yellows run mayhem in green territory, and the greens let them. And in turn the greens run mayhem in the purple territory, and the purples let them. Right now, I'm only talking about the big guilds, not all the other players, which are still a majority, just that they are doing the town board quests. You might not know, but the best exp in this game is PvP, not just normal exp, weapon exp as well. From level 30 onwards you get 1000 exp or more. I even got 2000 once, from a single enemy. You also drop a weapon or armor, fitting to your level. The guy that dies a PvP death, only loses durability, like in every other death. So why are big groups avoiding each other? Why are all the average players only doing town board quests? Simple reason really, below level 30, PvP is simply not worth it, yet. And the moment those players reach that level, they see level 40 to level 50 players, and they have even less incentive to try fighting them. They think I will do that when I reach that level. Except that at that time, those high-level players will be at an even higher level. So players are kind of forced, by the misleading design of this game, to think that your level matters. Meanwhile it does not. To fight, your weapon level is of importance. I easily beat enemies 10 levels ahead of me, and the ones even higher, I am even less afraid of, because they will have their weapon levels even lower. They are paper tigers. So players are rushing level 60 through town board quests, to then do what? Farm red portals to be able to run expeditions. Do PvP. Farm equipment from monsters. I am not saying that you do not have more content at a higher level. I am talking about the design of the game, where you need to spend 60 to 80 hours chasing people that have more time than you, while doing the most monotonous grind I have ever experienced. While you could simply enjoy the already available content that someone made, instead of skipping it all. Meanwhile the town board quests gives an incentive to big guilds to rush the progress of the towns they own, and at the same time it rushes the level of all the players that do those. So players that have more than 2 brain cells can figure out how the guild players are higher level, and then they think copying them is a good idea. While you cannot blame them, there is no better alternative till level 30 PvP, and the few small spots of elite monsters that are level 35 and higher. I, for myself, have learned that weapon level is way more interesting and important than the character level. I also feel pity for all the players that did not get to experience the gear progression through dungeons, crafting, and PvP store, as well as not actually using their weapons to the fullest. Weapons go basic attack and 1 ability, maybe 2. The fault lies at the Amazon Games Studio, because the biggest issue that comes from this is that it makes the content of this game gated to players who either spend their whole free time doing town board quests, so they can participate after they reach level 60. Let's see how many people will go through that bottle hole. Or you are part of a big guild, which owns a town, and only do stuff for the benefit of the guild. So in both cases, you spend your whole day grinding. At least if you are part of that big guild, you are not only progressing your level, but also the town that you will have to defend later. If that is fun to you, I am glad to know that humans are capable of evolving in a way it benefits society. So the TLDR is, because leveling through town board is so rewarding, everything else will pale in that. PvE is pretty much pointless, and the few PvE elite monster spots are fully booked. And PvP is non-existent, even though it is the most rewarding of them all. So people are literally skipping a big chunk of content with the town board quests, just to do the same thing with level 60, what they could have done with level 30. Weapon level is being forgotten. And big guilds which own towns are the only benefactor of the current game design. I am Mr. Fool, and this was my rant. If you think I missed something, or you have some intel, or point of view, that would change my mind, please share it with me. You can talk to me on Twitch, Twitter, and in the comments.